Hi everybody. What I want to talk to you about are 3 different areas related to solving the case. And the first thing I want to talk to you about is the process that you can follow in order to solve the case. So the first thing that you need to do when you get handed the case is read it. And you want to make sure you are reading it for comprehension and to fully understand what is being asked of you. Now, after you read the case, with your team, you are going to brainstorm a number of different ideas. Because after you've read the case, you have so many ideas on your mind that you just want to get all those out. So as a team, you want to do that, and you're going to do this rather quickly, probably in 2 to 5 minutes. You probably won't go longer than 5 minutes. So you'll get these ideas out very quickly. Then the team is going to talk about what is the scope of work. What exactly are you being asked to do? Now, what you want here is for the whole team to agree on that scope of work. So what are the key questions? What are the key tasks that the case has asked you to do? You need complete agreement by the team. Now, the next thing you'll talk about are the constraints and the advantages that the company has. So it might be the size of the company. If it's a large company, that could be a constraint or an advantage. If it's a small company, that can be a constraint or advantage. But you need to have that discussion with your team about what are the particular or the specifics about that company that are either a constraint or an advantage for it. After doing that, you have probably generated some more ideas. So now brainstorm some more things with your team, get more ideas out. After doing that, what you all want to do is now talk about those ideas and come up with which ideas that you want to implement. The ones that you think will be the best strategic recommendations or solutions for the company. Then you're going to research and analyze those ideas. So you're going to look into those, you're going to do your research, and along the way, you might have to change your ideas, you might get rid of those ideas because the company might already be doing them, or you might discover in the research, these aren't good ideas. And some ideas that you thought weren't great ideas, all of a sudden might be good ideas because of the analysis that you do and what it uncovers. So that is the next step. After all that is determined, you then are going to put the presentation together, you're going to structure it, you're going to create your PowerPoint deck in order to present it, and then finally, you will deliver the presentation. Right, so that's the process that you will follow. Now, in terms of structuring the presentation, a very simple way to do it that most people follow when they are at a case competition is this. They start with some type of introduction or executive summary, it's up to you, but somewhere around the introduction, you will see an executive summary. Then there's an analysis. And that analysis is going to be both an internal analysis and an external one. In other words, you're going to bring some outside information into the presentation. So the next thing you'll do is talk about your strategies for solving the problem. Then you'll talk about the tactics for each strategy. So let's say you've got 2 different strategies. So you'll talk about strategy 1 and all of its tactics. Then you'll talk about strategy 2 and all of its tactics. After doing that, you'll present a timeline of when these strategies and tactics are implemented. You'll talk about the finances, so how much does it cost and what's the return on investment. And then you'll have risk and mitigation, so what are the risks in your strategy and tactics and how will you mitigate them. And finally, you'll have the appendix slides, and you'll have a lot of those. Often, we have more appendix slides than we do the presentation slides, and that's a good thing, because you use the appendix slides to help answer questions during the question and answer session. So, in your appendix, you are going to go very deep and be very detailed with the information. Whereas in the presentation, you're probably going to have about 2 levels deep worth of information. In other words, during the presentation, what you're going to want to do is give the audience and judges just enough information so that they know what you're doing and how you're doing it. During Q&A, you can really go deep and get real detailed with them and really give them a lot more information if they have questions about it. Now, after you have presented all this, right, it'll be done. But I want to have a discussion with you regarding delivering the presentation, the actual delivery part. And that is, when you deliver, you want to be very energetic and you want to come across very confident and composed. So a few non-verbal things to consider when you're presenting. Number 1, eye contact. So when you're presenting, you want to focus most of the time on the judges. So about 90 to 95% of the time you're making eye contact with the judges. You are not looking at or reading off the slides. So only about roughly 5% of the time should you look back at the slides. Remember, 90-95% of the time, you are looking at the judges and making eye contact with them. Next, in terms of your voice, you want to have a very energetic and enthusiastic voice. And you don't want to talk fast. So think of it as just a conversation. Your voice, very conversational, a good, strong, energetic voice that sounds very confident, but don't talk fast, slow it down. If you talk fast, people are going to think that you are nervous or you're trying to rush through it. So just slow it down. And then finally, with the stance, you just want to face the audience, plant your feet, and just look at them. All right, again, plant your feet, face the audience, and talk to them. If you do that, you'll come across very confident and very composed and very energetic. So in sum, talk to you about the process for solving the case. Right? There's a number of things to do. We discussed that, and how to structure the presentation. Told you the overall structure that's typically used at a case competition. And then finally, talk to you about some of the nonverbal delivery skills when you are delivering the presentation. So, best of luck solving the case and presenting it.